Welcome to a brand new podcast. As always, this is the Oracle 19, and my name is Mr. Greatness. For any business inquiries, if you want to put your brand on this platform, you can email us at evolutionoflondon@gmail.com. And that's the same email if you want to make a donation to us, a free will offering, evolutionoflondon@gmail.com. We have different links to other affiliates, which is www.linktree.com/evolutionoflondon. You can definitely support us that way with links that we have. We do have a Patreon channel, which we have videos that is not posted on YouTube. And we have digital artwork, and we do consulting services as well. So that's www.patreon.com/evolutionoflondon. And we're on rumble.com. Just type in the Oracle 19 and like, subscribe, and share to that platform. Again, that's www.rumble.com/ well, actually, just type in the Oracle 19 once you get on that platform. So www.rumble.com, and again in the search bar, just type in the Oracle 19. You can shop online to our baby shopping mall, which is www.evolutionoflondon.com. We have a whole wide range of products. That's from men's, kids, ladies' clothes. We have jewelry, cologne, perfume, house products, over 20,000 different items. And that's evolutionoflondon.com. That's the same, the other information I have to give you. It's just so much information. Sometimes I have a little brain lapse. Because again, there's so much I have to regurgitate to y'all guys, but we have to get the business aspect of things out the way. So that's evolutionoflondon.org. O-R-G. You'll find custom clothes, accessories, digital products as well, such as ebooks for personal as well as business use. And finally, evolutionoflondon.store. S-T-O-R-E. There you'll find lotion, soaps, games, DVDs, a lot more clothing too. So evolutionoflondon.store. Check out the company Royalty 9 International. They make homemade candles, 100% soy wax, 12-ounce jars, from scented to unscented. Now, the scented candles are from frankincense, myrrh, jasmine, eucalyptus, rose, just to name a few. So if you want to place your order on these luxury candles, email the company royalty9international@gmail.com. Over 35 plus burning hours. Very good, very, very good quality candles. You'll find them on social media, Instagram and Tickety-Tock. Yes, Tickety-Tock. I like calling TikTok Tickety-Tock. Royalty 9 International on Tickety-Tock. Again, Royalty 9 International. Mr. Will, he's been a fitness consultant for over 15 years. So if you want to book for him, if you need consultation, email him, healthfitnessconsultant1@gmail.com. That's healthfitnessconsultant1@gmail.com. And support his merch, www.wjaaccessories.com for custom clothes, accessories, and digital products as well. Check out DJ Panthro. He's an international DJ. If If you want for him to come to your venue, email him djpantho519@gmail.com. That's djpantho, PANTHRO 519@gmail.com. And also you can support him on social media. Definitely like, subscribe, and share. DJ Pantho 519 on YouTube. And also find him on social media, Instagram and TikTok. DJ Pantho 519, or excuse me, DJ Pantho, TikTok, and The Real DJ Pantho. That's the DA, Real DJ Pantho on TikTok. And again, I love to say tickety-tock. Cindy's Place. Cindy's Place has custom clothes, accessories, digital products as well. So you can check her out at www.cindysplace.org. Again, that's www.cindysplace.org for custom clothes, accessories, and digital products as well. Music. Cheap Limousine channel on YouTube. He have a whole wide range of different beats. So once you go to his YouTube channel, Cheap Limousine channel, you will see his other social media sites. So like, subscribe, and share to Cheap Limousine channel on YouTube. And continuing to train on YouTube is the Greatness 19 channel. That's our educational channel to open up your third eye. So like, subscribe, and share to the Greatness 19 channel. And on the same page, if you scroll down on the Greatness 19 channel, is Mr. Evolution of London. That's our health and wellness channel. So I need your guys to really check that out, because there's a lot of great information on Mr. Evolution of London, the health and wellness channel. Things that will be able to help prevent diabetes, cancer, and just detoxifying your body. Believe me, there's a lot of great jewels on the Mr. Evolution of London, as well as the Greatness 19 channel, but that's something different. So support those brands. Like, subscribe, and share on those platforms. Discover Ontario with comfort and convenience. Looking for hassle-free travel between cities? Choose Intercity Bus Canada for all your intercity transportation needs. Why travel? The question people ask, why should I travel with Intercity Bus Canada? They're very dependable, punctual. Dependable services ensure you arrive at your destination safely and on time, every time. Just sit back and relax in their spacious, air-conditioned bus equipped with comfortable seating and free Wi-Fi. And they also have free Wi-Fi at the terminal as well. So that's you will definitely appreciate that. Say goodbye to expensive gas and parking fees. They offer the cheapest tickets in town, making traveling between cities budget friendly. Multiple daily departures and 24 hours a day, 7 days a week service available. Traveling has never been easier. So, take advantage of their special promotions, including value cards and discounts for frequent travelers. Their top destinations, they will take you to Toronto, Woodstock, Pearson International Airport, Sarnia, Kitchener, Strathroy. You can't go wrong with this. Formerly the Greyhound Station in London, Ontario, their terminal offer, like I mentioned, is a big space for customers to sit and relax before their journey. Visit their website, www.intercitybus.ca. Again, that's www.intercitybus.ca to view schedules, book tickets, and explore their route maps. or you can go to the ticket counter at 101 York Street, London, Ontario for in-person assistance and ticket purchases. If you have any questions or concerns or need assistance, contact customer service at 519-719-9237. Again, that's 519-719-9237 or info intercitybus.ca. Again, that's info at intercitybus.ca. You can stay connected with them through Facebook. Now the Oracle 19 is on all major platforms. We're on iHeartRadio, Google, Apple, Spotify for podcasters, Amazon Music, just to name a few. So any information I haven't mentioned will be in the description box of the Oracle 19 podcast. The Greatness 19 channel, Mr. Evolution of London, both of those are on YouTube. Rumble.com, just type in the Oracle 19, and finally www.theoracle19radio.com. All right, well, today, as usual, I give my perspective on different topics. You know, it could be triggering, but I have to give you the information. I must, I shall, I will. Is society about to collapse? Is society about to collapse? Now, many of you say, well, you know, Mr. Greatness is already collapsing. It's already collapsed. I get it. So true. And reason why, because as I mentioned previously, I'm always on social media, right? So I always check out different topics and just looking at society, looking at the news local. And I was checking out New York news, of course, because I'm a New Yorker. And I noticed it's just the degenerate nature of people. It's just going crazy. Just a couple of days ago, again, in the future, just y'all guys probably listen to the show maybe 5 years from now, a year from now. But in the month of March of this year, just a situation where two men was fighting on the train during, rush hour. And I don't have all the details, but it's going to be coming in as time goes along. We'll have the full scope of things. But two people get in an argument over whatever. Then next thing you know, it was three people really. A gentleman with his girlfriend and then another male. But anyway, one thing led to another. One man getting stabbed, two people getting shot in the train station. In the train as it's moving. And people scrambling and screaming and babies around. And we now in a society, especially you find in the big cities, but even in the small towns. I'm going to get to that in a moment. But just there's no care in the world. There's no morals and no standards. This is definitely, the society is definitely collapsing in the USA, my opinion. But people will say, well, this is why I don't go to the US. But guess what? It's in your cities as well. Maybe not as big, and maybe in some places they on the same level. Just the ratios are different. A lot of people in different countries like to say, well, that's just the US of A. Like, you don't have degeneracy in your country. Like, your country is perfect. We're going to get to other people's countries in a moment as well. But just how society is collapsing because the mindset of people is more savagery, I call it. People is acting more savage. No caring in the world. Broad daylight could be daytime, nighttime. People is just stabbing at each other, shooting each other, ready to do a murder, death, kill. All because what? oh, you looked at me. What you looking at? Kapow. You step on someone's sneakers or shoes. Why you step on my shoes and sneakers? Kapow. You skipped me on the line at the supermarket. Why? Kapow. I ordered a taxi service that's supposed to meet me, and you took my taxi service. Kapow. You just, men is doing it to women. Men is seeing women on the train, or like at the platform, grabbing them and throwing them on the train tracks. There's incidences in New York on that, but you'll find that different other countries. But I'm just using New York because I know the situation. Men is grabbing up women, random women, and punching them in the face. Kapow! See, this is where, society is really collapsing. And y'all women that is feminists and you believe you being me and free, this is the sad part, and this is really sad. You got a segment of men, right, that have perfect hate for your women because these men been mentally torn and been in bad relationships. And I'm not saying this is the right thing by no stretch of imagination. This is what I'm saying is unfortunate, and this is what also stimulates the collapse of society, because when you have men, ladies, if you have men out here that have perfect hate for women because of whatever happened in their life, and which is, again, very unfortunate, you have to be very careful, ladies, out in these streets. And I advise you, ladies, especially in New York, in the tri-state area, when you're waiting for the train, stand against the wall. And even you men too, stand against the wall. Don't be on the edge of the platform waiting for the train, because somebody will push you, and that could be the end of your existence. And you have a lot, ladies, I'm zeroing on you. You have a lot of men out here that have built up hate for you women, and they on one. Believe me. Ladies, you don't realize, you might think you independent and you mean and free, but you cannot deal with a man, especially a man that is angry. You cannot overpower a man. No matter you say I'm superwoman and stuff. Yeah, you got exception to the rules. Some of you women is big women, 6 foot and 6'5" and all of this other stuff. But let me tell you something. Do you really want to deal with an angry man full of testosterone and got hate for you and roaming around the streets of New York and roaming around the train stations waiting for you? They on one. I'm hearing, if you go and Google the incidences in New York City, I'm just using New York City alone, but you got countless situations where men is punching out women all across the world. So this is just, for all the nonsense a lot of you females, not women, because I always talk about the 2% of women, but you females that be on this feministic, disrespecting men, and then men gotta go through horrible situations with their women in the past. You got a lot of men that's on one. They don't care about them. They don't care about their life. And if you got a grown man don't care about his life, and he don't care about taking your life, that's a dangerous man, ladies. Y'all better be very careful. Y'all better be careful of your mouths. That's really, you're causing a lot of problems, because more and more men are just punching you out. And they don't care about court. They don't care about jail time. They don't care about their life. They just see you, kapow. Be careful. This world is collapsing. And you got people that don't even care, ladies. You got men that don't care about their children. They on one. And I could say the reverse of women out here, is on one too. You got a lot of mentally ill people out here. They on one. So us sane people, men and women, we better be very careful how we moving out here, because you looking at someone alone. I know a lot of people have a habit of staring in people's faces, and I notice this too. See, with, I don't know, other races, and you find this immigrants coming into the country, they love staring at, Indians, and especially I know it's Indians and Asians. Just, I don't know or immigrants alone. I'm seeing that it could be a good thing, but they stare at you. You going into these cities, for all of my immigrant fans out here, and you staring at people, just staring. Let me teach you something. One of the golden rules, you coming into the North America, don't be grilling people. And what I mean by that is staring at people. You could be just staring because you're saying to yourself, maybe I like that person's hair, or I like that jacket. But if you staring at people, that could become offensive, and that person could delete you. Let me tell you something. People is on that time, on that temperature right now, where you staring at people, all of you immigrants out here just staring. I notice a lot of Indians that does that. I don't know. I gotta point you out. Just stare. Just stare. Maybe it's a cultural thing. I don't know. But I'm just warning you, be very careful. You in these cities and you just staring at people, just grilling them. You might be just like that, man. I just like their skin complexion, or I might just like their shoes or something. But in the back of the mind, the person in the city, especially a person that is on one, that is already ready for violence, that's what I mean by on one, you could get yourself deleted, Indian man, Asian man, African man, immigrants from Europe or wherever. Stop staring. Stop staring, because this society is collapsing. You're going to get yourself hurt. You're going to get yourself thrown on the train tracks. You better be careful. This is not a game out here. The mindset of people is you leave your house, you got to tread waters lightly. And what I mean by that, you just got to be careful. People, you don't know you running up against somebody. You staring at someone, the next thing you know, they like, what you staring? Kapow. You get hot lead in your body, you gone. This society is mental illness is weak. Mental illness is real, and people is becoming more weaker and weak-minded, and they just don't care about their life, and they certainly don't care about your life. So that also, this is why society is collapsing. No morals and standards no more. People don't care about men, women, children. They will shoot in the daytime, nighttime, wherever, whoever. People, you can see with the society is collapsing because the economy. Basically, government, especially in the United States, and I would say, especially in the United States, but North America, it could be Canada too, but definitely in the United States, the country is bankrupting themselves in real time. They collapsing, my personal opinion, they collapsing society on purpose. Now, with immigrants coming into the country, I don't have a problem with that. Immigrants coming in, making a name for themselves, carving a good way of living. But how the government is allowing immigrants is coming in to the country is another thing. Literally, you gotta look. Let me walk this slow. maybe you could help me if this makes sense. All right, if you have immigrants coming into the country and you don't, let's say New York City, they in all it's happening in all the major cities, towns, whatever. But I'm just using New York City as an example. You have immigrants coming into the country. Coming into the city by the boatload, pretty much every week, every day, whatever. Now, why would you have immigrants come in and your city, New York City, is already in a financial situation? And there's no room. You have immigrants have to sleep in the schools. They homemade places for immigrants to be in the schools or the hotels. Some of these immigrants have to be in the streets of New York City. And why you find the need to bring in immigrants into a city that is basically financially in the hole, borderline bankrupt, allegedly, and you have no room for these immigrants, and you take money and set them up? What I mean by that, you give them grants, you're giving them all this extra money to and opportunities to give them a living. Fine. But you struggle in New York City financially. Give you an example, and I'm going to get right back to it. Let's say, for example, my own home. I'm bringing in people to live. And I'm giving them money for food and stuff, and I'm buying food. But I'm struggling, okay? I'm struggling with the people already living in my house. But I'm bringing in more people. Why? Why would I bring more people into my house and I'm struggling? Does that make sense? And then now I have more mouths to feed, and then the people in my house have less food to eat because I'm bringing in more people. And I'm struggling. Does that make sense? I can see if I'm bringing in more people and I'm straight. My house is good and I can afford it. But if you cannot afford it, why are you bringing in people into the city? In abundance, weekly, monthly, daily. Does that make sense? And does it make sense bringing in someone else into the city and the people in the city is struggling? You could take that money and help out the people that's already in existence, already in the city. That money could be allocated to people, build programs to help people in the city. Homeless, more homeless shelters, maybe help out people with low income more, better the schools, because the schools is trash in New York City. But yet and still you spending more money and giving it to immigrants. Again, I don't have a problem with that if you could afford it. But if you can't afford it, why? If your people in New York City is not straight, why are you going to bring in more people? Does that make sense? And you could expand within the government of the United States. This is why the society is collapsing. In my opinion, it's a strategic way to bankrupt the city or to keep a certain group struggling. It's a variety of different ways I can go with this, but I'm just using the basic logic. Why would you bring somebody in your house and you can't afford it and you already struggling? It makes no sense. And when you find local government, state government, federal government doing that, they really giving you a clear sign that they don't care about the people already existing in their country. This is bigger than that. This is a way to really benefit the government, because when you bring in immigrants, it's cheaper labor. So at the end of the day, you spend more to bring them in and prop them up, but you're going to still collect more money on the back end, if you get what I mean, people. But if you don't, just look at the logic within your own house. Why would you bring someone in your own house and you struggling? That right there should be the template of understanding. So if you don't understand anything else, understand that. Logic. This is why society is collapsing. I say society is about to collapse. People will already argue with me it's already collapsing. So again, we understand. We're on the same page, but I'm just putting that out there as a question. So immigration problem is very bad. It's not logical by no stretch of imagination. And to even double down, people say, well, because we help, United States and Canada, basically North America, you bring in people into the country from, let's say, Ukraine, and I talked about this before. No disrespect to people from Ukraine, they having a hard time, like people in the United States and Canada having a hard time. But why would you, again, bring somebody into the country, let me slow it down. Bring someone into the country and you struggle. It goes right back to that. And you give millions and millions of dollars towards the war, and you have people in your country starving. You got big time homeless problem all over the city. You give $50 million, $100 million towards the war. Can't you take $5 million, $10 million and build a hotel for the homeless? Can't you take like $10 million and towards the people on drugs, low income? Well, we do something anyway, but obviously it's not working. They need more money. Why would I send money to somebody? Like, this goes right back to logic. Why, if I will give money to a next door neighbor to pay their rent, and I'm struggling to pay my rent? I say this again. This is what these countries are doing, Canada, US, and European nations. They allocate money to a war, and your country is struggling. Your people is struggling. This is why the society is collapsing. Does this make sense? Is this logical? Maybe Mr. Greatness is off. Who knows? But I'm just looking at logic. If I have trouble paying my rent, why would I give money to my next door neighbor for their rent? And I can't even pay my rent. Pay your rent first. Make sure you on top. Make sure your people under you is good. Then you could do things like that. But your people is not good. So it shows you that the government purposely is, my opinion, obviously bankrupting their society. Because there's a new world order. There's another plan. And basically the plan is to make you slaves. Allegedly. This is allegedly. What Mr. Greatness know? Because there's two types of societies. The rich, which they get richer off of war. And then there's the working folks like you and I that will be just struggling. And this is beyond even color. Per se. But I say per se because, again, you black people are considered on the bottom of the totem pole. So you are definitely not significant. So it's very important for you to get your act together. But on a human level, government don't care. Do the government really care about you taxpayers? you working class people of all races, do you think they really care about you? They might show a little more empathy towards you than black folks because that's the pecking order. They might go the pecking order of life if it was a black person and a white person and the government, who would the government consider first? Obviously, it's white. And that goes with suspected white supremacy. And anybody disagree is foolish, in my opinion, because if you look at who runs the world companies or the major companies, who's the CEOs, what color are they? And they're usually old white men. Specifically, I'm saying old white men. And who runs government? Suspected white supremacists. Who runs the law enforcement? Suspected white supremacists. Local government, state, federal, suspected white supremacists. This is why you have the collapse in society. There's no balance. It's definitely a certain degree of unfairness. And that's what it is. It is what it is. This is why you also have the collapse in society. There's no balance in society. And it's not going to be balance in society because the suspected white supremacists are demonic devils who have no care in the world. And they will even delete their white trash or working class for the betterment of their agenda. That's how white supremacy works. And a lot of you don't get it. Oh, that's not right. And no, just look at your society. Look who rules it. It's not black. And it will never be. Neither system white supremacy have anything to do with it. Oh, well, you can work. You can be wherever you want to be. We're not going there. Sure, you can work and it's not about, I'm not saying being lazy and not being productive. You be productive here. You're supposed to. But I'm going to use an analogy like Chris Rock said with black folks. Black and white folks. White folks, the sky's the limit. Black folks, the limit is the sky. I say it again. With white folks, the sky's the limit. Black folks, the limit is the sky. So, because no matter how much education you get, and please don't give me entertainers that make $1 million. We're not talking about that. And we're not talking about not being proactive. Being proactive, going to school or working, getting a trade. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about laziness. You could be proactive, but still you're not going to make it at certain levels because systematic white supremacy is already in place. This is non-negotiable. This is what it is. This is the reality. But again, I'm going to get pushed back because people is going to add on their words to what I'm saying or say, well, y'all this and that. I'm not going to get into all of that on this topic for today. But what I am saying, the society is collapsing because of what's already in place and what government is doing. And they're not really caring about the people in general. And you can see it because if they did, they wouldn't do what they're doing now. Because it doesn't make logical sense giving money away to countries, to war, to immigrants or whatever, and you are struggling. You basically on the border of collapse yourself. It makes no sense unless it is an agenda where somebody is profiting from this situation. So you have to think about that. And the dollar, the US dollar is not the same. Inflation, we know that. skyrocketing, high. Who's profiting from the inflation? You have like supermarkets. They making hand over fist money for price of milk and vegetables that's on the rise. Supermarkets, gas, hot, jumping, housing, even though it's tailing off a little bit, but still high interest rates. Buying a car, you paying your gas, electric bill. For the common man, they can't keep up. They get the same paycheck. You know, in some states they only pay like $9, $8 an hour. How you gonna live? $8 an hour? $9 an hour? They can still in the South like that. I have to check. You have to Google that. But some states it's worse than trash. This is what it is. This is what it is. This is the society that we in. And you don't think this society is collapsing? Banks are shutting down. Banks is merging. Your dollar is not the same. That's why the government is so hell over bent of dealing with digital. Because money is not the same. So how to weather the storm, and I mentioned this previously, you definitely have to have multiple streams of income, multiple skills. Take away your pride. Pride is going to keep you broke. You might have to take a second job, be a janitor, cook, or cleaner. Have 2 jobs if you by yourself that have different streams of income so you can survive. Figure out a place. Network with people where if something goes wrong at your place, can you go to theirs? Live with them. Can you merge with them? Learn to network locally, whatever, because that is going to save you. Network with family that you get along with, or friends, or foe. This is about survival because your society is collapsing in real time. So you need to network with people. The rich network with other rich people all the time. And you have to learn to network. Because there's no other way. There's no other way. That's what I want to say. Sometimes you got to put aside your pride. You only making $2,000 a month, and your rent, if you're a single person, your rent might be $1,500. How are you going to survive? Your utility bills will take away about $300. So you got like $200 in a month to work with? How are you going to survive? You mean to tell me $50 a week and you got to still allocate that towards food? That's not enough. You literally will be starving, struggling heavily with only $2,000 in that type of example I just gave you. So you're going to have different streams of income. You have to network. Now you try to obviously network with the right people. You know, you definitely want to network with the right people. You just can't network with anybody. But we in survival mode because, again, this society is collapsing. And the government is not caring about you. Do you really think they care about you? I don't know. Maybe, again, Mr. Greatness is off. But you answer that. Do the government care about you? And they showing it how much they really care about you. They'll give you a couple of trinkets and allocate little monies here and there, but look at the society you live in. Look at where you're living in right now. Look at your situation. It tells you everything you need to know. They print out money daily and they send it off to other countries and other peoples like nothing. And on a footnote, on a side note, I think black Americans should be getting reparation, no question about it. Don't worry about, oh, they're going to spend it on Jordans. Oh, they're going to just party away. Let me worry about my reparations. You don't need to worry about it. Because if you're able, here's the logic. If you're able to give immigrants millions of dollars on different programs and grants and all of this other stuff, hundreds of millions of dollars off throughout the United States for immigrants coming here and opportunities, and you have the nerve to send money out for war. Millions and millions of dollars. But yet you broke, you can't give black Americans their reparation money. Over the atrocities, what they had to deal with 400 years, leading even up to now, this year. And you mean to tell me you can't, you will say, oh, well, I'm broke, but you had the nerve to give millions of dollars to the war. And that's just that. You give millions of dollars to other people all across the world in real time, even this year, last year, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 50 years ago, but you can't give a dime, you can't give reparations to foundational black Americans here in the USA. You just say, well, we give, we do this, and you stumbling. The nerve. Don't worry about what we would do with our money. Just pay us the reparations. And I totally agree with that. You're going to just be lazy. You don't worry about it. Because if you're able to give money to different people all over the world and the war and stuff, then you could print money, and you print money every day to allocate that. You could allocate the money to foundational black Americans. That's a side note. That's just a side note. This is one of many reasons why the society is collapsing. Karma. Mistreatment of black people. You're getting what you deserve. But then that's on a spiritual level, so that's going to go over the heads of many people. It's fine. It's no problem. No problem with that. But is society about to collapse? That's a question. Just something to pay attention to. Don't overlook that. But people, you definitely have to start protecting yourself, protecting your interests, getting your life together ASAP. Having multiple streams of income, networking with the proper people, family, friends, or foe, and stay on top of things. Be prepared to move if you have to. Have money on the side in your household just in case you got to use that. Have other commodities if you can. Buy and invest in gold and silver if possible. Also have definitely insurance policy just in case you pass. Your money could be allocated to the family so there's no stress on them for your funeral. And also just invest in certain things even on the small level. Even if it costs you a couple of dollars, $20, $30 a month. But you have to be able to save to order to survive. You also have to have a plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D to function in the society, because you never know when it be official collapse total collapse, where the banks, you go to your bank the next morning and they got no money for you, and you got it in your account, but you can't get your money out because they say, you know what, we are broke. We are broke. They did it in European nations. People going to their banks, Portugal and Greece, and then one day, we got no money. People might have thousands of dollars in their bank, but the bank said, we can't only give you but $25 today. And come back next Friday and we see how much we can give you the money. I can't guarantee you getting your money. Now you got thousands of dollars in your bank, your money, but you're not allowed to take that money out because the bank is broke. They went bankrupt. And it happened to a lot of people in so many different countries. And people in their countries and living in countries in Europe like Italy and Greece, and you got a lot of slums out there. People live like savages. But they make it seem like it's America that, you know, is the most savage. You got people out here just straight degenerates, all in Asia and India. They're in their societies, they just the way they live, the way the ghettos. People talk about the ghettos here in the United States. Their ghettos there could be far worse. You go Google the ghettos in China and Japan and Italy and Greece. They're ghettos. Don't think it's just America. A lot of people just think it's America. It's a world society. People living like straight bums. Far worse. This is why people, even the society, even the USA is collapsing. You got people still trying to swim and basically delete themselves, still trying to get into the United States. Go figure. Why would people my question is, why would people willing to delete their families, delete them, do all the ungodly things to get to a country that is collapsing? Even at its collapsing moment, people are still trying to get to the United States every day. Not every day, every day. You must wonder why. Because obviously that country is trash. And they said, well, you know what? Even though the United States might be a little trashy, but my place is definitely worse than here. You got people willing to travel for all of the outsiders thinking, oh, you know, United States and this and that. But why is it your people in your country willing to break their backs every day now? They come into LaGuardia Airport, JFK, these are airports in New York City. Willing to come into the airport every day. They come in the airport every day from different countries. What do they say about your country? Oh, well, you know, I'm just here to get a little education, and after that, I'm going back home. Well, why you ain't stay home? Why you ain't stay home? You could get your education from the University of Philippines or University of wherever island you're from. Why you had to make the extra effort to come to the US of A? Because you know your country is double trash. Not trash, double trash, hot trash. Your country is hot trash. So society is collapsing everywhere. So all of my immigrants out here that thinking, oh, you know, United States is this and that and this and that. Why is your people, that's my question from me to you, why is your people is willing to swim and delete themselves and go crazy to get to the US of A that is collapsing in real time? Because it's still great. It still have the opportunities. People is still ready to risk it. Because you could come here, you could still be either poor or rich. It's like rolling the dice. You can win or you can lose. In those countries, you're going to lose. Now, am I saying all the countries all around the world? But I'm saying a great deal. Even the countries that still have a very good economy still want to have ties to the United States. Why? They still want to have some type of linkage. Education, fashion, music, whatever. Entertainment, whatever. Still there. It's a world thing. So that's just my little rant about that. But society is collapsing in real time. So protect your neck. Thank you for listening.